Hello, everyone, and welcome to the HootBoard podcast. I am Brian Reynolds, and with me today is Mary Rains. She is the Marketing and Communications Specialist at discoverodessa.org. Mary, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Brian. How are you?
I'm doing well too. Doing well. Just still working from home at the moment, and how the pandemic has kind of changed a lot of things for all of us. So, yep, it's still hanging in there. So, we're here today to talk about Discover Odessa. Talk a little bit about maybe DMO, destination marketing, even if there's any kind of visitor kind of discussions that we can get into as well. We're big on CVBs and DMOs and talking about just kind of that world and kind of the unique situations that the destination marketing and visitor marketing world has to offer. But first, I want to talk a little bit about you, Mary. Can you just talk us a little bit about your journey to becoming a marketing and communication specialist?
So I am actually somewhat new to the field of marketing. So back in 2017, I believe, I started as a director of a small town chamber of commerce. The population was about 4,000 in Central Texas. And I jumped in with both feet. I had no prior experience to marketing or any type of chamber of commerce. Like the world of the chamber was new. And so it was, I literally got thrown into it, and it was a blast to figure everything out. And on my own, it makes you learn more and be grateful for what you do know. So anyways, I did that for about a year, and then we relocated out here to West Texas. And so I am now in this current position with Discover Odessa. And I'm very blessed to be here. And it's nice to have a decent sized budget to work with now. So that's super fun. And I'm very grateful for all of the learning opportunities that I've gotten to have here. I know we're a smaller destination if you're comparing us to Austin or Dallas, but compared to where I'm from, it's very exciting for me to get to promote Odessa.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, there's a lot of cities. One thing I've realized when learning in the destination marketing world is that every area has its own unique personality, its own unique reason why people visit and things to do in that particular area. And in Texas, when you drop names like Austin and Dallas, obviously there's a lot of uniqueness. But I'm curious about Odessa, and that brings me actually a great dovetail into this next question. So, what makes Odessa, Texas, a unique visitor destination?
So when you come to Odessa, I don't know if have you ever been to Texas, Brian?
The farthest south I've gone is San Antonio. I've driven like from east to west. That was a long drive,
Okay.
but I visited San Antonio. That's about as far south as I've gone.
Okay, so we're west of San Antonio. So we're right there. We're in the desert, so we have the sandstorms. We're now having earthquakes, which is super random. Mm-hmm. But we're a very unique destination in the fact that so we have a lot of smaller communities surrounding us. And so those smaller communities rely on us for entertainment and for fun and just for leisure in general. And so that is a big driving factor for us. And we do promote to the smaller communities around us quite a bit. So so just for example, some fun things that we have to do here. And I love finding new attractions that we have that are opening. It's like my hobby. So just new things to promote. And so like we have go-karts. We have a place called Rimrock Raceway, and they have go-karts there that go 60 miles an hour, and you're not strapped into like a seatbelt. Like there's no safety whatsoever. So it's super fun. But people come from New Mexico to come and do that. So that's a very unique attraction that we have here. We have a few like painted like pottery places here where you can go and like build your own pottery and paint it. And it takes multiple steps and days to do all of that. And so it's really cool when you get to finish and you're like, I made this and it took me so long, but it's so cool. So we have those kinds of things. We have like plenty of movie theaters. We do have Synergy, which I believe there's like 4 or 5 in Texas and maybe Oklahoma as well. But they have like arcades and, it's just like the general fun. Trying to think, what else do we have here
Synergy. That sounds like a fun family-friendly thing too. Is that like
Oh,
a
it's super
family?
fun.
Yeah, that's like a good like birthday situation for the families,
Oh yeah,
or
yeah. They have
any teenagers or anything would have fun too. I would.
yeah they do parties. I mean they have they have bowling alley. They have an arcade, a movie theater, an escape room.
Ooh,
Um,
I like
trying
those.
to think. Well, I think that's it. Oh, they have like the virtual reality headset, game things,
Uh-huh.
and those always mess me up. So, but they're super fun. Um, trying to think of what else I'm forgetting here.
Well, the so with Odessa, I'm just while I'm thinking about it. So it's in Western Texas. You're in the western
Hmm.
side of Texas, and so okay, I'm from Western Kansas. It's a small
Okay.
town called Hayes, and I always think to myself like it's a population 22,000, but the actual service area is more like 80,000 because the small areas around Western Kansas do use Hayes as like entertainment hub, shopping, where they
Right.
bring their kids to do a thing. And I'm curious, so that's kind of like the situation Odessa is in?
So Odessa's population, according to the last census, which I'm sure it's more now, but it was 120,000, I
Okay.
believe. So I mean, we're a larger community. We're just not comparable to like Austin. But I mean, like I said, we have all of the communities. We have a bunch of towns that are like Andrews is north of us about 40 minutes, and they're about 15,000 people. So I mean, we have like Pecos and Monahans. We have a bunch of smaller communities that just rely on us for everything because they don't have like any shopping really. They might have like a small Walmart or something, but really we have all of the needs. I mean, we meet all of their needs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. So that's about the population of the town I live in right now is 100,000, and in Lawrence, Kansas, is where I'm at now. So to relate to that, it's like yeah, the shopping areas. If you're in the smaller communities around you, like they go shopping, something that isn't a small Walmart, something more like I don't know, like it can be anything unique. I personally like going to TJ Maxx. That's my thing, but those kinds of options out
I
there are
love
not
it.
available. So and that's also a thing. What would you say is Odessa's marketing anchor as a destination? Do you know of any like that make a decision there? What is the anchor?
So oil is a big part of just who we are. We're just a working town, and so we have tons and tons of oil field workers that come here when the oil is doing well. So when the pandemic hit at the beginning of, or I guess in March last year, we took a drastic cut in our oil, and which hurt our visitors honestly because so our hotel occupancy is normally between 90, 80, I would say 85 to 100% occupancy. Um, and we saw a drastic cut in that. And now we're getting better, but I think we're at about 35 to 40 to 50% right now. So that is a big part of who we are is oil. I mean, we have just nurses. There's just a demand for everything here, and so if you are looking for a career, like Odessa is the place to go. It's a great opportunity. We have a ton of diversity just because people come from all over, and that's truly like when I moved here, I'm from a small town originally, and so when I moved here, I was like, wow, this is truly a diverse city that is open. I mean, you don't feel like you're a minority anywhere you go because there's a little bit of everything here.
Yeah, and the so yeah, and also get back to that oil jobs. Those are good jobs. Those are good paying jobs, high
Yes, they are.
high quality. I mean, it's hard work, but if people who know work in the oil fields, they know the kind of work. But they're good and important jobs too for energy sector. And I know Texas in oil that's goes hand in hand. I know that, and so. But okay, I'm trying to go back to. I mean, I know the pandemic has pretty much rocked everyone's world and made a seismic shift and everything. But I'm trying to go back to like whenever the occupancy and maybe things are going full steam. Eventually, we'll get back to that where things are relatively back to where they once were in terms of production. So let's say you do have 80, 90, 95% occupancy, 100% hotels with traveling workers in the oil field. Is there like a message of some kind or a way you communicate with them or things you promote that they're what they're looking for, what they need or desire? I assume they need restaurants, they need something to do, they need some place to go enjoy themselves because after working a long day in the oil fields, you got to go relieve a little bit of stress. Is there any kind of that kind of
Right.
messaging going on?
Well, and a lot of the oil field workers, come here without their families because it's temporary work usually. And so they are always looking for things to do. And so that's like our main goal, is to just let people in hotels know what there is to do. So we partner with, obviously, HootBoard, and we have a kiosk located in our conference center. And so we've had it probably a little over a year now, I want to say. I don't remember exactly when we put that in. But it's been really well received with the travelers. We just put all of our events on there. We have literally all of our restaurants, our like local dining chains, everything. And so that helps them kind of find places to eat, things to do, stuff like that. We have all of our hotels listed on there. So if they're looking for better accommodations or different accommodations, they can look there. So we have all of that. And then we've also recently partnered with Van Wango, which is a newer company I had never heard of before last year. And we are doing like a queso and margarita trail is going to be our first thing to do.
I love everything you just said just now.
Right, right. Everybody does. Who doesn't love queso and margaritas?
Yeah, there is no argument.
So we're partnering with about 20 different restaurants that have great queso and margaritas, and so you'll just be able to go around and check in at all of the different participating restaurants, and then you'll get a prize at the end, like a t-shirt or a jackrabbit, because that's something unique that we have here. And so we do get visitors that just come in to see our jackrabbits. So we have the original jackrabbit statue is about 8 foot tall. So back in, I want to say the 30s, 40s, we are known for a woman roping the world's largest jackrabbit.
A woman?
So
sorry, say it again. A what?
A woman at a rodeo. A woman roped a 4 foot and some inches jackrabbit in like 5 seconds.
Wow.
So it's very impressive. So they created a jackrabbit. I think it stands at 8 foot tall. And so you're able to see that, take pictures, selfies with it. And then we also have 32, which it was originally, I believe, 38 jackrabbits around town. But some have gotten hit by cars or vandalized, or, so we're down to 32. But you can go and we have like a jackrabbit trail, and you can go and take selfies with those as well.
That sounds like an Instagram challenge or a TikTok challenge,
right?
Or something. I would do that. Oh, that sounds like fun. Put a hashtag next to it, and who can make make the funniest face, or just don't break it, please. There's a bit in front of
please. They're very fragile.
Well, that sounds great. Yeah, the margarita trail, and I appreciate the shout out to HootBoard. Yeah, we are big on one of my favorite things, and also the app of what we have there. And you're talking about the trail, is I'm big on food specials. I've been really big on marketing to people who are working. And one of the most common things, if it's lunchtime or dinner time, I don't know if anyone's like me, I'm always about tracking down where the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday specific food specials are, so I can see a little bit. And it gets me to go to a restaurant I wouldn't normally go to. So I'm kind of stuck in my ways. But if I find a special that I like, it gets me to okay, I want to try this out or try that out. I've never tried that before, which is also a great way to the way we can use the board as well. Hey, it puts food specials on there, and it's a nice way to organize content. But yeah, I'm big on that margarita trail idea. I'm gonna have to come down there and try that, and I want to take a photo.
Well, come on. Yeah, it's going to be super fun, and we plan on doing different coupons and stuff like that, so people can do discounts and check in at the restaurant and get 15% off an entree or something like that as well.
Okay, so we got food, we got a nice place to work for people, they got places to stay, and I'm thinking, here's my next thing, another just kind of question popped in my head just now, is what about entertainment? Do you have bands coming through, or comedians, or Broadway show, kind of traveling shows kind of thing? What's that situation look like?
So we have the Wagner Noel Performing Arts Center. It's actually located in Midland, which is our sister city to the east, but it's right in between us. So our cities pretty much touch. And so our two cities are the main hub for our area, and we call our area the Permian Basin. And so that is one, like they have Broadway shows. They have awesome opportunities for any artsy person. Like they have something for you at any point in time. Obviously now with the pandemic, it's getting harder to get bands to get here. But they do have events starting this month, and then they're booking them out a year in advance. But they've had some pretty big names come there. And then we do have concert venues just throughout the city that people just play at and stuff like that. And we are also not a music friendly, film friendly city as well. So we've had Friday Night Lights. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie.
I've seen that movie. Yeah, is that filmed in Odessa?
It was based off of Odessa, and it was partially filmed in Odessa. Yes.
Oh, that's
cool.
Friday.
The stadium is Ratliff Stadium, which is still standing. That's our high school stadium that we use, and actually our college uses it too. University of Texas in the Permian Basin. So it's very well utilized, and we have random tournaments, soccer tournaments, and stuff there as well. But that is a very famous stadium that people come here just to take a picture with and say, oh, I've been to Ratliff Stadium.
Oh yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, if it's famous in a movie, you got to go take your photo there. And
oh yeah, it's awesome.
What's that famous line? Football is a way of life in Western Texas, or I think the main actor. Is it true? Is that true? Yeah.
Yes. Everybody lives and breathes football here.
So yeah, that's another cool thing too. Is I know when I lived in Kansas, I don't know if you have that in Odessa. Where did you host any like state football championships, or for the specific schools or in the area? Like, or is that more concentrated more in like the Dallas kind of store situation?
Right. So I believe every year the state games are hosted at the Cowboys Stadium, at the AT&T Stadium in Dallas, in Arlington. But we do host playoff games throughout the year, in the fall. And then we have other, playoff games and stuff in the spring. But
so if you want to watch some good high school football, Odessa, and you're like, hey, I want to see what the up and comers, maybe who's going to be playing for UT or playing in the Division I teams. Maybe Texas has a tradition of developing that kind of talent. So maybe that's a good way to spend a Friday night as well, checking out.
For sure. And I know Marcus Cannon is from here. There's been several pro football players that are from Permian, I think. Permian High School is where they came from, but we have two high schools here, Odessa High School and Permian High School. So Permian High School is the school that Friday Night Lights was based off of.
That's awesome. That's great. Well, Mary, that pretty much wraps it up here. Thank you so much. We covered food, we covered jobs, we covered the situation. A lot of great things for families to do. Sounds like a fun, family-friendly, and hopefully we get past the situation, the current situation we are in with the pandemic. I think eventually we'll get to a place where safely being able to get out and move around again. And that means, I predict there's going to be a surge of people who have been cooped up all year, and it's just going to go. The floodgates are going to open whenever it's nice and safe, and everyone is ready to get out again. And that's going to keep the visitor departments where you're working at very busy. Wouldn't you say?
We sure hope so, and we are. We're ready for it for sure. I know that our team tries to bring in groups and sporting events and things, and it's hard when you have lots of cases in your city and your surrounding cities as well. So we're ready for everybody to just get safe and be able to get out and about again, for sure. Absolutely agree. I think we're all ready for that. And thank you very much for joining us today on the HootBoard podcast. And don't be a stranger. Hopefully we can meet up again soon and talk some more. Thanks, Brian.